Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a Exorcist ripoff film from Spanish filmmaker, and I'm going to absolutely butcher the name here. Armando de Osorio, I think. Anyway, he's the director, probably most well known for directing the absolutely amazing Blind Dead series, which consists of 4 movies, all of them being fairly entertaining, but the first 2 being actually like amazing horror films. He also did a really interesting, entertaining creature feature called In the Lorelei's Grasp, and an equally cool black magic kind of voodoo film, Night of the Sorcerers, which was both of those films, the creature feature one and the black magic film, were put out in a double feature Blu-ray by Scream Factory, and it was a very nice release. The movie I'm talking about is The Possessed, also known as Demon Witch Child. So this is a weird little Exorcist ripoff that is kind of similar to the godfather of all Exorcist ripoffs, Kathy's Curse. If you don't know about Kathy's Curse, well, it's a film in the public domain that I would highly recommend you see, because it is one of the most balls-to-the-wall, bonkers rip-off films you've ever seen in your entire life. It's so broken that it actually, in a way, becomes this brilliant kind of subversion satire of the exorcism film genre as a whole. Now, keep in mind that's completely unintentionally that it does that, but it does that nonetheless. This film is kind of like that, except not as absolutely fucking crazy. So, this is a Spanish film. It's dubbed in English. The dubbing is bad. The writing is bad. Pretty much anything from a non-technical standpoint is bad. Everything from a technical standpoint, on the other hand, as far as shot composition, lighting, sound mix, camera work, music, everything else is pretty well done. And I would be lying if I said that there weren't some pretty interesting shots in the film, as well as some pretty cool little sets in the film. Not every single set, but some of the outdoor sets, some of the sets involving the cult, the cult of witches and stuff like that. And I've gotten so ahead of myself, I haven't even given you the plot. So this is a movie about a young girl who is like the daughter of a politician, and she ends up becoming possessed by a demon, I guess, after a witch cult targets her and gives her an evil necklace that turns her into a foul-mouthed little brat that just goes around calling people bitch and fat pig. This is something that happens. Again, this is something very similar to Kathy's Curse, but nah, I'm not. I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to stop the comparisons between these two movies, but unlike a decent amount of Exorcist ripoffs that have the possession happen for like no real reason, this film tries to give a reason, and it's kind of a broken reason, similar to Kathy's Curse. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is a pretty similar film to Kathy's Curse, and this came out, I think 2 years before Kathy's Curse did. I don't want to have to pull my Blu-ray of Kathy's Curse off the shelf because it's on the shelf right here, and I don't want to have to do it, but I'm gonna fucking probably force myself to do it anyway. What's this? Oh, that's the other hell. Yeah, no, it's even farther down. Never mind. But yeah, she gets possessed by a demon or something like that. Now, completely unlike Kathy's Curse, though, this film is not off-the-wall, wacky, and weird, or at least as weird, with having this, the possessed kid having a never-ending list of powers, which is what they did in Kathy's Curse, as well as the mother being an absolute fucking nut who overreacts to everything, like in Kathy's Curse. The mother does nothing here, the father, who's a politician, doesn't really do anything here, and the movie just kind of goes on, and then ends, and the movie kind of resolves itself in the end. Something else that this film does that is kind of interesting is it takes itself very seriously, which which, considering the movie isn't super over the top, is kind of a both good and bad thing. It's good because it allows the film to have a little bit of an atmosphere. It allows the film to actually try and build up some kind of atmosphere and some kind of level of scares or something other than just being a rip-off film. You know, it allows it to do something that it probably couldn't do otherwise. But it's also bad because this leads to the film being kind of boring for a decent amount of it, especially for the very melodramatic subplots about, like, the priest in the film falling in love with a woman and, like, wanting to run away with her, and that's something that is, like, touched upon and never really brought back or resolved in any way. The film is strangely interesting overall, I would say. Again, melodramatic with some of the subplots, and boring a decent amount of the time, but I kind of enjoyed this movie, personally. It's a little creepy at times, it's pretty cheesy all over the place, and there's even a scene where the witches kill a baby and drink its blood, which is something that is absolutely wild for a film that's trying to cash in on The Exorcist. Also, the possessed little girl castrates a grown man in this movie, too. That happens. Again, that's something that is something I can very much say about this film, is that it is very original, despite it being an Exorcist ripoff. It has a lot of things going on that The Exorcist wouldn't even have dared to kind of do, mainly because it was based on a book. But even other Exorcist ripoffs didn't go this far with the little girl being evil. It just kind of stayed at, like, laying in bed, vomiting blood, and cursing. While here it goes, like, even farther, and it becomes kind of a murderous kid movie. So this is also a killer kids movie, I guess. My opinion on this film, after watching it, is very similar to my opinion on the cult-exploitation film Satan's Slave, which is a public domain film. But it's a film, just like Satan's Slave, this is a film that has some really great cheesy moments. It has some really, really good, it has some good kind of creepy moments, some decently atmospheric moments that kind of trip and fall over themselves in the end. But overall, it's an okay movie. Although, oh God. Although Demon Witch Child has a lot more funny bad moments than Satan's Slave does. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like Nosferatu, 10 being something like Peter Jackson's Brain Dead, Demon Witch Child sits at, like, I want to say at 1, maybe 2. There's a couple pretty decently graphic scenes, but despite the fact that they kill a baby in this movie, it's actually fairly tame with its violence. A lot of it's off-screen. What there is of the violence is off-screen. I've got to go ahead and give this movie like a 2 or a 2.5 out of 5. This movie is nothing too memorable, but it's a decent time killer film, and if you like Kathy's Curse, this might be worth a look. But it's nothing I would say you should seek out if you're new to cult films or anything like that. I will say, though, this is definitely one of those movies similar to, like, Cannibal Terror, and, like, similar to films like Cannibal Terror, where they're good as, like, movies to put on in the background as you're writing a paper or editing a video or doing what I was doing while I was watching it, which was taking notes and simultaneously finding clips of the film and stuff like that. So it's a good background noise kind of movie, and that's the best thing I can say about it. But with that being said, that is it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I didn't trip over myself too much, and I hope that what I wanted to say about this film was clear enough, because I know I can trip over myself quite a bit when it comes to trying to read off the notes, but also not look like I'm reading off of notes that are right in front of me. Anyway, guys, this is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews signing off. Peace.